Mutakaye Oyasin, all my relations, welcome to the Red Road channel. Sobering moment today after Trump's announcement last night, and I'm going to do a video on this and I'm not going to pull any punches about it. What is going on? Well, Trump made an announcement that he is going to make incursions or send troops or send construction companies and all of that good shit into Gaza to basically make beachfront condos there. Now, if anybody's been following this, and you know what, I wanna congratulate. It's not a sister channel, but has a similar name, the Red Nation. I want to congratulate them on the fact that they have been talking about this, as I have, for a long time and have been beating this drum. People need to sober up and listen to what I have to say. So we have 1 million people dead, murdered in Gaza and displaced for what? Beachfront property. Condos in Gaza. Let's level the place and clean it all up. Trump made this announcement about what he's going to do with that situation in that area over there. And it's almost mind-boggling. It's shocking, really. Basically what he said is he made the statement about, well, there's all this rubble and there's all this destruction and there's all this carnage and devastation and buildings in heaps of ruins, and it's just a mess over there, and what we have to do is we have to go in and clean it up and rebuild the infrastructure and make everything rosy for the, quote, people in that area. What people in that area? You mean the Zionists? You mean Bibi Netanyahu? You mean the modern day Pharisees? Is that what you mean? The reason I'm down on this, and I'm going to talk about this, is because the same thing happened to the Native Americans, the natives of this land, when they were set upon and genocided, just like the people in Palestine. See, that's why people like the Red Nation channel and this channel not going to sit around and take this shit laying down. You may hear a few cuss words today, which is okay. Gets the point across. But what I'm saying right now is that 1 million people, there were like, what, 2.7 million people living in Gaza, living in Palestine, their land, their property, their sovereign nation. And how did all this start? Well, it started with Hamas supposedly making an attack on Israel months ago, when Biden was in office, and bombing the hell out of innocent men, women, and children, and infants, and dogs, and every living thing, kind of like a scorched earth, not kind of like, it is a scorched earth policy. Let's just get rid of all those people, excuse me, let's get rid of all those people. Let's kill them all. Let's displace them all. because of an attack that came from Hamas, which are the fighters, the freedom fighters of that nation, of the Palestinians. And that was, let me just clue you in, that was allowed, that was a setup, that was orchestrated, all right, and allowed. And there's big questions about that too. There's all kinds of questions about that. For instance, I think about 1,200 people were involved in that situation that were supposedly killed by the freedom fighters, Hamas. Then it later came to light that at least half of those people died by the hands of the Israelis in their supposed attempt to free the hostages that were taken by this attack by Hamas. I think this was on last October 7th. And ever since that time, now this was under the Biden administration, ever since that time there was a massive assault, air assault, huge bunker busting bombs. There was a complete civilization with universities, schools, hospitals, just leveled with bunker buster bombs, and incursion by the Israeli Defense Force, the IDF, went in there, and there was a huge uproar, and there still is, about how can you do this? This is genocide. I think the UN organizations, the International Criminal Court, said that this is genocide, and actually put out a warrant, I think, for Benjamin Netanyahu, BB. So basically what we have here is a blatant killing of 1 million freaking people, beautiful people, and displacement and bombing of refugee camps, and indiscriminate killing and shooting of 1 million people. Now some people say, well, I don't know if it was 1 million people. Maybe more. And so there's 1.7 million left, and there is no infrastructure, and all the buildings have been decimated and leveled and flattened and blown to smithereens. You walk in there now, it looks like an apocalypse. And I want to emphasize the fact that there were children there. And so this started with the Biden administration. Now this makes a good point that I have been talking about for years. And that is, there is no difference between administrations in the United States of America. The Biden administration, the Trump administration, they're all the same. They're all from the same bird, all right? The natives have a saying, the left wing and the right wing belong to the same bird, and boy, is that true. One person is like bad cop and the next person is like good cop, all right? So you got Biden and the Democrats, they're the bad cop, and then you got Trump coming in with all these new executive orders, all right? Closing the borders and building walls and massive ICE raids on immigrants. Now, Am I saying that there should be millions of people crossing the border into the United States from all different kinds of countries, including known terrorists and cells from other countries? And am I saying that there should be open borders? No, that's not what I'm saying. But see, what a person will do is they'll go in and act like they're the good guy, and they're taking care of business, and they're closing the borders, and they may do some good things, and they may get rid of some of what people call the swamp. And they may act like they're just an angelic messenger, taking care of business and cleaning up America and doing this and doing that. And it's all going to be fixed, and the financial situation is going to be fixed. And it's all a lie. You know, you can mix fact with fiction, and it's still a lie. All right? That's the best way to get something over on the people. This has been known in the communities that do covert ops and black ops and nefarious different organizations and media outlets and things of that nature. They'll mix fact with fiction. Now the fiction in this is that Trump's a good guy. He's evil, just like the rest of them. He's an evil colonialist. And I like the term colonialist because it's kind of a soft way of saying white man ideology, white European man ideology, Christian white man, Jewish white man ideology. So that's kind of a soft way of saying, you know, the colonists, the colonialness, the colonists, the whatever. You get what I'm saying here. Colonizing people, or if you can't colonize them, just get the fuck rid of them. And that's what was done to the natives of this land, the indigenous people of this land. There is no doubt about that. There is no doubt at all. And so I've been saying for years that it's the same mentality. It's the same mindset. Now Bibi and Trump should be pictured as one and the same, okay? They should be pictured as the Grim Reaper, all right? Standing with their sickles, okay, and holding hands and standing on the graves and bodies of 1 million innocent people. This is shocking. This is just downright shocking. Not to me, but it should be to the nation. I guess this is payback to, what's her name, Marian Adelson, that contributed, billions of dollars to Trump's campaign. And see, here's another thing that proves my point. Everybody was thinking that it was going to be a big, hard deal for Trump to get reelected because of, nefarious things like tampering with the ballots. And everybody expected that. Everybody expected a big fight and all kinds of problems. And that didn't happen. It was just smooth sailing right in. Here comes Trump, boom, right back into office. No real problems, not a whole lot of opposition. What does that tell you? They're all in it together. They're all in it together. This is one big bird, right? This is one conglomeration of elites that are working together for an agenda. Now, when you think about what Trump said about oh, it's just horrific over there. There's buildings collapsed and they're all demolished. I don't think he used the word blown up. I don't think he used that word. They're just, it's a wreck over there and they're just demolished, and we're going to go in there and make it clean and pristine and restore the whole thing for the people in that area. See how they use sly, lying words? The people, not the people that live there, not the people that's their land, not the people that deserve to be in the land that is theirs, all right, their country, their sovereign nation, which is just has been an occupied nation. So when he says we're going to clean it up and we're going to make it pristine and all that, then in the next breath he says the rest of the 1.7 million people there are going to be transferred to like other countries in the area. Doesn't specify what countries really. You know, countries like Egypt and Jordan and surrounding areas around there. In other words, we're going to take the 1.7 million people and we're going to push them out of their sovereign land, and we're going to put them in different like makeshift camps and compounds around the area. And then we're going to go in and clean up the whole of Gaza, and we're going to make it beautiful. And what they have in mind is beachfront condos is what they have in mind. And you can definitely hook this up to Jared Kushner and his Zionist connections. The Pharisees, the modern day Pharisees that, although I'm not a Christian, Jesus in the New Testament called vipers and low life and the lowest of the low. And what we have today is just an extension of that. So we have white man, colonialist ideology that wants to get rid of these savages. Now let's remember, these people are tribal people, just like the natives of North America are tribal people. My brothers and sisters, and I, with indigenous blood and other people like the Red Nation, are calling this out, all right? We're calling it out for what it is. Now let's think about something else here. Recently, in the last years, we've had several suspicious, let's say, fires or wildfires, like in Hawaii and Maui, where it was just decimated and leveled, and only the rich, like Oprah and The Rock and these people's homes survived there, and all the rest was basically burned out and leveled for redevelopment. Now they're going to redevelop it. Just like they're going to redevelop the land in Gaza. And what about California of late? Half of the city of LA, I don't know, maybe not half, but a good portion of the city of Los Angeles was burnt to the ground, suspiciously. And what is that? It's prime real estate, people. It's prime real estate. So the way I look at it is there's some type of, organization, Zionist organization or New World Order organization or the elite or the cabal or whatever you want to call them, that wants that land for their purposes to develop and probably even live on. Now, when I was in San Diego, I saw them building apartment building after apartment building after apartment building, high rise, cranes everywhere. erecting these big buildings that basically after they built them were vacant. And probably 3/4 of them still are. What was that for? Well, San Diego is another area that is pristine and known to be a vacation spot and almost like a Greece or a Mexican Riviera or whatever. Prime locations for the elite to live in luxury. Let's get rid of the people and we'll move in. We'll take the land. And that's exactly what was done with the natives of this land. They stole their land. They stole their land and put them on reservations, or let's say just basically what they were prison camps. And they murdered and tortured and genocided those people. So this is just a fast forward. This is just the same ideology. This is just the same operation, agenda, over and over and over again, okay? Nothing's changed. And again, these people in Palestine are indigenous tribal people. They're dark-skinned, indigenous tribal people, just like the natives of this land. While you have the sick fuck people like Trump and Netanyahu in bed together to clear out the land and build condos and let the rich move in and have their parties or whatever on the backs, on the bodies, okay, of dead tribal people, men, women, children, scorched earth policy, right out of the book of the Bible. When Joshua went into the land of Canaan and Yahweh commanded him to go into Jericho and flatten it and kill everything, cattle, women, men, infants. This is Jewish ideology. This is Pharisee ideology, all right? This is European man ideology. This is white men ideology. Now, I'm not racist. Not in the least, because the native tradition is that we are all related, okay? And so when I say European man, let me make this clear so there's no accusations of hate mongering or anything like that. It's not about that. It's about the way people think. It's about this Zionist way of thinking, this money grubbing, gonna take all the land, gonna have all the power, gonna subjugate people, gonna kill people, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're children or infants or anything. One of the famous, I think it was, I don't know, it could have been General Sheridan or something like that. Kill them all. The only good Indian is a dead Indian. Kill the children too. Nits make lice. Get rid of them because, they're going to grow up and be warriors, and we're going to have to fight them when they get older, so just get rid of them now. And it's the same philosophy everywhere. Exterminate them right down to the bare bones so that we don't have to freaking deal with them later. That's their ideology. Let's take the land, let's develop it, let's colonize it, let's move in European settlers, let's decimate the religious values and the spiritual values of the indigenous people and their beautiful connection with nature and Mother Earth, and their oneness, them realizing that we're all related, mutakuye oyasin, all my relations, there is no separation. And the natives were not against the white man when he came into this country. They welcomed them with open arms and tried to live it in a peaceful way with them and teach them the ways of this land and teach them how to hunt and how to deal with the land and how to be at one with the land and to survive. And what happened to them? What happened to them? Well, I'll tell you what happened to them. One of the things that happened to them is that the children were taken away from the elders and the families and put in Christian boarding schools by the hundreds, couldn't speak their language, had their hair cut off like a skinhead, and were told that if they were ever to speak their language, they would be punished and tortured, and they were. They broke up the continuity of the families. They created unbelievable chaos. They created unbelievable pain and agony and heartbreak. And then they killed them too. It's time for people to wake up. It's time for you all out there. If you don't know this already, now I'm supposing that the people that subscribe to this channel, the Red Road, are sympathetic, or at least want to know more about what's going on now and what has gone on in the past. And their hearts are open, and they are Indians by the condition of their heart condition. Where is your heart? Chante ishte, the one eye of the heart. When this situation came out yesterday, a lot of people want to just give Trump the benefit. Oh, he's doing good things. He's closing the border, and man, he's getting rid of the swamp, and he's getting rid of the heinous FBI people, and he's getting rid of the criminals, and this is going to be such a great nation again, and make America great again, and all that good shit. And that ain't going to happen, people. And I'll tell you why it's not going to happen. Because America is broke. Ask, what's his name? Richard Wolff, I believe his name is. World's preeminent professor and teacher and economist. And he will tell you that by the end of this next month, or within the next couple of months, there's going to be a major, major collapse of the American empire. There's going to be a major collapse of the American empire. Now, and this is happening already, people, so wake up. When I go to the store and I have to pay $8.50 or close to $9 for a dozen eggs, you know something's wrong. And when I see grocery prices going up, and when I see people like myself on fixed incomes and struggling to get by day to day, and the consternation that derives from going to the store, and every freaking time you go to the store. Last time I went in to get a carton of eggs, it was $5.50. The next week later, it was $8.50, $9.50. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? $3 jumped up. $3 can't get eggs anymore. Why? Because they killed all the chickens because of some stupid made up infectious disease, bird flu. We got bird flu, and we got this flu, and we got COVID, and let's lock everybody down, and let's kill chickens, and let's get rid of the cattle, and let's do this. And what is wrong with this picture? What is wrong with this picture? And people are walking around just like, now this border thing. Let's talk about that a little bit. Because that seems like a panacea, man. Oh yeah, we're closing the borders. The cartel is being shut down. No more fentanyl coming across the border. And I'm all for that. And so is every other American, except there's a problem here. There's a problem. The CIA has always been in bed with drug runners. They are drug runners. So that's number one. Number two is, do you think that there's not millions of cartel members and gang members and, let's say, radical Islamists and terrorists in this country already? And you think a bunch of ICE raids are going to go around and just clean everything up and everything's going to be all gone now? No, that's not what's happening. And so they close off the border and they weld the fences and they put up the barbed wire and there's not enough ICE agents, there's not enough army. There's the military force in this country is pathetic and stretched to the limit, okay? And most of them are out of shape. And so good luck with that, number one, as far as battling anything that's going on within the country. And then when you shut down, let's say you shut down the border, do you have any idea? Do you have any idea at all how much money these cartels have been making? We're talking billions and billions of dollars on human trafficking and fentanyl and just a host of other things that they've had free reign with, okay? So now you're going to shut that down, right? You think that these millions of cartel members and radicals are going to all of a sudden just go, oh yeah, okay, we lose 5 billion, 10 billion a year or a month or whatever they're making. Yeah, that's okay. Well, think again, because there's going to be war. There's going to be war. And the war is not going to be, well, they're shooting across the border and they're going to send drones across the border and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. This didn't save America, people. This is, if anything, going to increase the pace of the destruction of America. There's going to be internal terrorist attacks from the cartel. There might already be with all these planes going down and other things happening. And they're going to use drones. Here comes the drone thing again that we've been talking about. they're going to use drones, and there's going to be terrorist attacks inside the United States of America. There's going to be cells. There's going to be gang members. There's going to be all kinds of shit going down. It's going to be a war on the soils of America. And a lot of people are going to die. A lot of innocent people are going to die. Because you don't just cut off gang members and cartel members and people that are making shitloads of money off of the innocents and the people that succumb to drug addiction and stuff in America. That's not going to happen, people. If you think that's going to happen, you're delusional. And on top of all this other stuff, we still have the drone situation that nobody knows anything about, is trying to cover up. And so this all is coagulating into one big clusterfuck, basically. Think about it. Think about what's happened since January 1st. You got airplanes falling out of the sky for unknown reasons that make pilots like me scratch their head. You got drones flying all over the freaking place that they're denying exist, and UFOs. You got upheaval everywhere. You got fires in California that were just set one right after. They were set. These are probably energy beam weapons, just like what was used on Maui. We're talking energy beam weapons. You don't think we have them? Hell, they tell you right out front they have them. This isn't sci-fi shit. They use these things on like protesters and stuff. Sound waves, energy beam weapons. So you don't think they can fire a laser energy beam weapon down from outer space and like a magnifying glass when you put it next to the sun and focus it and it starts a fire? If you pinpoint that sun through the magnifying glass, it explodes into a fire. You can put it on a piece of paper. Hell, I did this when I was a kid. You don't think that they have the technology? Up there in space, hell, there's 40,000 satellites going around the Earth. This is all talked about in Hopi prophecy. Believe me, not just Hopi prophecy, but other indigenous prophecy, talking about the web around the world, which now is basically these satellites. If you look at the satellites hovering around the Earth, no wonder the Star Nation. I firmly believe in my heart that the Star Nation, the non-human intelligence, or let's say the plasmic orb intelligence of the unified consciousness of Mother Earth and Grandfather Sky, are seeing this and they're like not down with it. Because this planet is a beautiful planet, okay? It's just got the right atmosphere and the right, let's say, workings and mechanical workings with the core, and then the construction of the planet. Did you know that the middle of the Earth is a sun, and it's hotter, just as hot as the sun out there? And did you know that the sun interacts with the core of our planet? Which proves exactly what I said before, that it's all one. The sky is the earth, and the earth is the sky, and grandfather, grandmother, energy, it's all one, okay? It's all a cohesive thing. And we, as people walking around on the planet, mankind, humankind, we're one with that too, because in our bodies are the same magnetic forces. This is all works off magnetism. The magnetism of the sun, the magnetism of the earth, the magnetism of the core of the earth, the magnetic field around the earth, interacting with cosmic radiation and the sun. We're all one, just like Montakuye Oyasin. So when these fools go around killing humankind in the millions, that's part of the planet, that's part of the continuum, that's part of the oneness. And so they're creating a disunity or an off-balance situation. And do you think Mother Earth knows this? Well, hell yes, she does. The cosmos, Mother Earth, it's all working in unison. And when you got a few evil fucks, you'll have to excuse my French, but you know what? This shit has just made me go Apache. How about that? My Apache brothers and sisters and the true warriors of the Red Nation windbacked into a corner, didn't take shit. And the whole of society is messed up. Nothing works right. None of the government agencies work right. And we're talking all the way down from local situations like DMV and clear on up to the very top. It's all corrupt. It's all AI operated. It's all a cluster fuck. This is it. You cannot go in and kill 1 million people so that you can have beachfront property and sell it to your rich elite friends. And it's going to end, and these people are going to pay. Trump, Netanyahu, the European leaders, they're all going to pay. In one way or another. And if the planet explodes, hell, that might be the answer. Because those of us with a good heart are going to stand around and laugh. And it doesn't matter if we go to, because we know our heart's good. We're going to laugh at the silliness of their stupid, evil, killing, murderous ways. And they're going to be running around in abject fear. Hell, we already got stuff going on the planet on a natural level that is could be extinction events. We got, in the last week here, we've got 1,000 earthquakes around the island of Santorini, all right, which is a huge caldera, much like the caldera in Yellowstone. And they are increasing in intensity, starting off at 3 point something and going to now they're up to 5. And when they increase, they go from smaller to larger. That indicates a huge magna eruption. And the volcano that is the island of Santorini back in history, thousands of years ago, when that erupted, it was like Krakatoa or one of the huge volcanoes. It wiped out that whole area. One of the biggest eruptions in the history of the planet. And what happens when that happens is you got almost like a nuclear winter. You got clouds of ash and dust and anything in that area is gone. But then the clouds float around and drift around the earth with the jet stream and the natural rotation of the earth and the four winds, which I honor the four winds, grandmother, grandfather, and the four winds, which are all one energy source. So get ready, people. Buckle up. Hold on to your lug nuts, because Mother Earth is back in town. I can't wait, really. I'm looking forward to it. But this has got to end. This has got to end. Or everybody in this America and other nations are doomed. And why? Because you sat around on your ass and you didn't stand up for murder and genocide and the killing of innocent people and the killing of the anthropos or humankind on this earth. You sat around on your asses because they weren't coming from you. Oh, they're just coming for the other people. Got news for you. You're included in the mix. Because it ain't about you, it's about them. And these people are disgusting. I don't want to carry this on too long. I'm sure you're overwhelmed as it is. But sometimes you got to get up on the pulpit, just like Wovoka with the ghost dance and, and I hate to use the word pulpit, but let's say you got to stand on your hind legs and howl like a freaking wolf. And let it be made known this shit don't fly. Take your power back. Quit letting people push you around through the government. I'm going Apache. I'm going Apache, and I'm sick of people that also claim to have love in their hearts. There will be a separation here. There will be a separation. Okay? When you go Apache, it's like you have love in your heart, but you can also have a cold heart too, to those who deserve it. All right? There's no compassion for killers and murderers and thieves and those who want to trick all my relations. That don't fly. And it shouldn't with you either. It's time for you to take notice and act appropriately, whatever. Or get ready, prepare, because you can see what's happening right before your very eyes. And quit going to your goddamn Starbucks and drinking your lattes and going to the gym and doing this and doing that and thinking that everything's just hunky-dory, going through your life as a slave, getting up in the morning, working, coming home, getting up in the morning, working, coming home, oblivious to what's going on around you, just in your everyday fucking rut. Wake up, realize your oneness with your fellow man, realize your oneness with Mother Earth, Unsi Maka, and Grandfather Wakantanka, and the Holy Spirit, or the spirit that pervades the cosmos, Tunkashila. Quit being a bunch of wimps. Be warriors. So I'll say a prayer for the people, I will I will smoke the sacred pipe, and I will put out prayers and beseech Great Spirit to do what needs to be done in conjunction with Mother Earth and with Simaka, and end this stuff, because this can't go on. This is basically Mother Earth. If this volcanic eruption in Santorini and other places, they're all around the world, it's happening. If this starts a chain event, a domino effect, it's history. Mother Earth will just shake off the evil from this planet and start all over again with people that really care and are really stewards, like we were meant to be, stewards of the planet and each other, with love. And, maybe you think I'm not showing much love today, but I'll tell you what, I'm showing some tough love. Tough love. Like the Apache, who fought back against all odds, and even the Lakota and other indigenous people fought back against all odds. That's all you can do. You either lay down and die, or you get up on your back feet and you make yourself known. That this shit don't fly, we ain't taking this anymore. Take back your power. Quit being wimps. Be warriors. So anyway, that's my rant for the day. And, pass this around. Like it or whatever. Get the algorithms up. Get this out there. Get the people, be like... Be like a warrior, be proactive, be an activist. I've always been an activist. Clear back to the AIM days in the American Indian movement, which I recently did a video on. I've always been an activist. So, let's see what we can do, people. Raise your voices and get on your hind legs and do something. I hope my next video is a little bit more temperate and to the point of the indigenous people and their history. But this channel just goes with the flow here. And it's always been, I've always... like I say, always been an activist and always spoke out against injustice and always spoke out against the cabal and the deep state. Going way, 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 way back. Look at the history of my channel. Covered everything. And I knew and I know as a shaman, okay, a practicing shaman, I know what's going on. And sometimes Great Spirit moves me to speak in a direct and intense way. So if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Otherwise, if you hear truth in my words, and I promise I'll try to be a little bit more mild-mannered, but there's a time for everything. There's a time for being mild-mannered, and there's a time for kicking some ass and taking names and telling it like it is. All right, I'll leave it there today, all my relations. I really do love you people, or I wouldn't be going to this extent. And talking like I do love mankind. I do love you all out there. So just take that into mind. And I'll just say thank you for listening to me, Wopila. And it's all good. Aho.